Economics video on indexing. Often when we download data from a database, we find that we need to transform the raw data so as to interpret it. We already saw this in the example of GDP in the Working with Data video segment. This video addresses one of the most useful manipulations of data, how to index data. Let's start with indexing exchange rate data to the same point in time. We already have some exchange rate data downloaded into a spreadsheet program. Here we downloaded exchange rates for the yen and UK pounds in Google's OpenOffice spreadsheet program. Now that you have downloaded the exchange rate for the yen and for the UK pound, look carefully at the labels. You will see that the conventional presentation of the exchange rate for the UK pound is different from that for the yen. So our first task is to put the two exchange rates into the same format, foreign currency per dollar. This is easily done through the calculation of 1 divided by the dollar per UK pound and saving it in a new column as the pounds per dollar. You always index data to a specific base time period. In this case, let's index the data to the period June 1973. To do this, take the actual data for each time period and divide it by the data for the base period, June 1973, and multiply by 100. It is a convention that the value of the index in the base period is 100. Make sure that you are dividing each observation by the data from the base period of June 1973. The equation that you use in your spreadsheet program should reflect that the base period is an absolute. That is, unchanging. This scalar transformation of the data does not alter the dynamic movement of the data, but only its order of magnitude. Now, when we graph the indexed data, both series start at 100 in June 1973 and are of the same order of magnitude. We can now compare the movements of these two currencies vis-a-vis the dollar on the same graph. We can see that the yen has appreciated against the dollar. The dollar buys fewer yen, while the UK pound has depreciated against the dollar. The dollar buys more pounds. When we index the data, we lose the values of the yen, dollar, and pound dollar exchange rates, but we give that up to obtain a comparison of the dynamic behavior of the two. Indexing is frequently used with other price series. You might not even know it. For example, the consumer price index is always based to some specific time period. We can always change the base period of any index just by dividing each value of the series by the new base period value.